tomorrow night, Thursday night, 8 o'clock Central, we're talking about thyroid health on the webinar, which is available via subscription. Please visit fireyourmdnow.com. Check out the online health recovery program. Get yourself a subscription and come to the webinar tomorrow night. It's just a lot of fun. I mean, if you've never been on a webinar, it's so easy to do. You just click. You make 2 clicks, type in your name, make another click, boom, you're there. And, you know, when you're in a live webinar, there are people in the live webinar from all over the world. And there's, while I'm delivering the lecture, the formal information takes about 45 minutes. All of the people that are present at the webinar are chatting back and forth and commenting back and forth. It's so much fun. I mean, it's just so much fun, if for no other reason than to understand you are not alone. There are hundreds of thousands of people just like you who feel exactly the same way that you do about health and about wealth. There are hundreds of thousands. And it's better, more appropriate, and produces better results to hang out with people of like minds than it is to hang out with people, you know, who aren't like you. For goodness sake, I mean, if you're a Mormon, you're not going to hang out with the born-again Christians, right? You're just not going to do that. If you're a Democrat, you're not going to hang out with Republicans. You go crazy. And vice versa. When we surround ourselves with people who are into the same stuff that we are into, everything gets better for us because, you know, we realize that it really drives home the reality that we are part of a tribe. We are part of a global tribe. And I'm telling you what, this tribe that we are a part of is going to change the world. It is. It's already happening. And after a while, this momentum that we are building is going to just start a movement that is so strong and so has such momentum that it will become unstoppable. And this is what we are up to here, ladies and gentlemen. We're lifting people in our family, people in our communities, people in our churches. We're lifting them up. We're shortening prayer lists. We're helping people to get healthy. We're helping people to get wealthy. And that beats a poke in the eye with a sharp stick, as my father used to say. Going to South Dakota now to Al, who's been waiting patiently. Hey, Al, thanks for waiting. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden there.
Yeah, what's going on, Al?
Well, you know, I started with you here probably 7-8 months ago on that. I had the Klinefelter syndrome and migraine cluster, tension, migraine, headaches, osteoarthritis. And since then, I've had shortness of breath, heart palpitations. I wake up in the morning with stomach ache, and I have rash, jock itch.
All right, so tell me some good news, Al. What's gotten better?
Well, I had kidney stones yearly for about 10, 11 years, and last year was the first year in a number of years that I haven't had kidney stones. So
yeah, very good.
I had to get them blasted every year. So
yeah, did you notice any change with your mood or your energy or your appetite or your weight?
The weight pretty well stayed the same. Mood was, I think, better there.
Okay, good. So specifically what you're up against now is you're having trouble breathing. Explain that to me. What's that like?
It get kind of, when I lay down and that, I get where my heart's really beating fast.
Oh, yeah.
And get shortness of breath. It seems to happen, I have to take the depo-testosterone on that every other week. And it seems to happen within 2 to 3 days after I take that.
Yeah. Now, you might want to, you take the depo-testosterone because of the Klinefelter syndrome, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, so for the listening audience, Klinefelter syndrome is a genetic condition that you're born with, like Down syndrome, right? Klinefelter syndrome. And you have to take hormones in order to manage that to give you a normal life. And again, this is one of the areas where MD-directed pharmaceutical-centrist medicine pays us a benefit and actually produces results and works. So this is interesting. Have you ever looked up? You sound like a smart guy, Al. Have you ever looked up whether cluster headaches are a side effect of the testosterone strategy?
I know, yeah, I've looked that up, and they said headaches are a side effect
right. So it's interesting, right? So we might be just trying to kind of not kill the dragon here, but kind of just develop a shield so that when we're around it, it's not so bad. All right. So are you shorter than you used to be?
Yeah, I've lost 2.5 inches.
All right. That makes me the smartest man in class. Because most of the time, there's a saying in medicine that when you hear hoofbeats, you think about horses before you think about zebras, which means when you're up against a symptom, you think about the most common things that cause that before you start thinking about esoteric, strange, or rare, or peculiar things that cause it. And from our point of view, and I learned this from Dr. Wallach, and I think it's Dr. Wallach and myself and Ben Fuchs, and maybe one other health professional in the entire world know what I'm about to tell you, which is interesting in and of itself that, there's only a handful of us that know this. Most of the time, when we get symptoms, when the symptomatic expression of the illness that's in front of us is a heart that's beating irregularly, like you'll get palpitations, or you get a runaway heartbeat, or the heart starts and stops and flutters and palpitates like this. When you get peculiar heart palpitations, especially if it's positional, especially if it's related, oh man, every time I lie down, my heart starts to beat noticeably. The first thing to think about is degenerative disc disease. And thank God for Dr. Wallach's autopsies. Thank God for Dr. Wallach's pragmatic research back in the 70s. I guess when anybody does 26,000 autopsies, you start to see patterns. You start to get a clue, right? What Wallach discovered was most of the time with a symptomatic expression of an irregular heartbeat like you've got, the heart itself is perfectly fine. There isn't a problem at all with the heart. The problem is the nerve impulses coming to the heart from the spinal cord. Your spinal cord, of course, extends from the brain all the way down into your tailbone, and the spinal cord is protected by your vertebrae, your backbones. Those are the bones that the chiropractor is famous for adjusting. And in between the backbones, there are nerve plexuses, bundles of nerves that leave the spinal cord and go to different parts of your body and make your body work. It's the electrical system of your body is your central nervous system, your spinal cord and nerves. And if in between the backbones, there's a little cushion. It's called an intervertebral disc. And the cushion is there to cushion the nerves as they exit the spinal cord. Well, the cushion is like a feather pillow. And, it's easy. I know that you know this. When you've got a feather pillow and you've lost half of the feathers, it's no fun to sleep on it anymore because it's lost its cushioning ability. Well, when your intervertebral discs shrink, they lose their cushioning ability, and the nerves that come out of that part of the spinal cord where the little cushion has shrunk become irritated, and if it's the nerve that goes to your heart, you get a funny heartbeat. If it's the nerve that goes to your bladder, you feel like you need to pee all the time. If it's the nerve that goes somewhere else, you get another symptom. It's like that. It all goes back to the spine and the spinal cord and the intervertebral discs. So, we believe that the main therapeutic intervention here to support and promote the health, structure, and function of your body in the face of this particular diagnosis, what we want to do, instead of looking at the heart, we look at the intervertebral discs. So the recommendation here is to get on board with some type of a program that supports and promotes the structure and function of the intervertebral discs. And we do that with calcium, minerals, and glucogel. Now, the problem here, is that the intervertebral discs have a limited blood supply. Your liver's got a huge blood supply. Your heart's got a huge blood supply. Your kidneys got a huge blood supply. Your skin's got a huge blood supply. Your lungs got a huge blood supply. Your intervertebral discs, not so much. So, helping intervertebral discs to regain their structure and function is a slow boat to China. It's a slow boat. It's gonna happen, but it's a slow boat. So, the recommendation is 1 capsule of glucogel per 10 pounds of body weight per day. So if you're 180 pounds, you need 18 a day. 6 with breakfast, 6 with lunch, 6 with dinner. In addition to that, it's one healthy start pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. 1 bottle of selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month, not to exceed more than 4 bottles a month. And also in this case, I would add 1 extra bottle, or 1 bottle a month, on top of all of that, of either the plant-derived minerals or the Cal Toddy. The Cal Toddy gives you a little bit extra calcium plus minerals. The plant-derived minerals give you a little extra minerals. It sounds like you already have the calcium thing handled because you're not getting kidney stones anymore. And kidney stones are caused by a lack of calcium. So you probably don't need to do extra calcium, but you do need extra minerals, I think, because of the problem with the intervertebral discs here, presumptively. So that's what I would do, man. I would do the Healthy Start Pack, the Glucogel, the selenium, and extra minerals. And I don't know if you've already done it, Al. Again, you sound like a smart guy. I think that you have, but you really need to eliminate the 10 bad foods from your diet. Because if you don't, when you eat the 10 bad foods, they punch holes, metaphorically speaking, into your body's nutritional tank, and the nutrients that you've just swallowed will leak out. Some of them anyway. You're still going to get some, but you won't get as much use from the nutrients because some of them will leak out before they're absorbed into your body. Why? Because you're eating the wrong foods. So I would take more Glucogel, more plant-derived minerals. Make sure that your diet is 100% clean of the 10 bad foods. Make sure you're salting your food to taste. And just give it a while. It will come around here as those intervertebral discs regain their structure and function under the watchful eye of medical nutrition. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Peter Glidden, Dr. Peter Glidden. This is Fire Your MD Now. Boom! Tomorrow night, Thyroid Night. Check it out. It's accessible via webinar. If you're a subscription holder, you're in luck. Tomorrow night, we're talking about thyroid health, 8 p.m. Central Time to about 9 p.m. Central Time. We always end at 9 o'clock sharp because we all have lives. And tomorrow morning, it's live chat with Dr. G. If you're a subscription holder, it's live chat with Dr. Glidden. That's me, 10 a.m. Central Time. Check it out. Bring your friends, bring your prospects, bring your enemies. I don't care. Bring as many people as will listen to our message because this is how we're going to make a difference in the world, one person at a time. Going to Montana soon. Going to become a dental floss tycoon with Elaine from Montana. Thanks for the call, Elaine. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden.
Hello, Elaine. How's it going?
Well, it's going real good, helping a lot of folks. And the latest thing that I've got going here is I talked to a family. The whole family has gluten intolerance as far as I can tell from their symptoms. And with this family, and I do want to get your take on what everybody should be taking, although I already kind of know. I want them to hear this this conversation. There's a young couple. The family has a young son and him and his wife have a 4-month-old premature baby. As I'm talking to this family, and I talk to this young couple, they have every symptom of gluten intolerance. And then further, and so I'm telling them what to do about getting off gluten and everything. And further in the conversation, they tell me that the baby is not having normal bowel movements and having some problems. And it just came to me, he is on formula. What if there's gluten in that formula? And if he's born to a mother with gluten intolerance, that could be big trouble. So I told them to call the company and ask if there was gluten. And sure enough, there is gluten in this baby's formula.
Well, holy smokes. I mean, Elaine, This makes you the smartest girl in Montana. I mean, it's a fantastic job. I mean, really, really good job. I want you to go out and buy yourself something really nice, and every time you wear it or look at it, I want you to remember what a good job you've done for these people. So look, here's the deal. Gluten is a big bad voodoo daddy. Everybody needs to, from our point of view, everybody needs to be avoiding gluten. Everybody. Now, not everybody is intolerant to it, but the majority of us are. And remember, our message is a generic message. So I would rather miss 15% of the time and hit 85% of the time than not hit at all. You know, those are pretty good odds in any casino. So we recommend across the board that everybody avoids wheat, barley, rye, and oats. Wheat, barley, rye, and oats are big no-nos. And to see why, go to my website, fireyourmdnow.com, sign up for my free monthly newsletter, and as soon as you sign up and hit the submit button, it's free. I just need your name and your email. I don't sell the email addresses. We keep it all in-house. As soon as you hit the submit button, you're directed to a page that has a recording of my video that explains why wheat, barley, rye, and oats are bad from our point of view. So the best thing to do for preemies is give them a goat's milk infant formula. Don't give them over-the-counter pharmaceutical formula. Do an online search for goat's milk infant formulas. Make your own infant formula at home. And to the infant formula, I would add let me get the numbers right, 1/2 of a teaspoon per 20 pounds of body weight, 1/2 of a teaspoon. If the child is under 20 pounds, then give it a 1/2 teaspoon of the plant-derived minerals. The plant-derived minerals every day. The plant-derived minerals. You want to add that to the formula. I would also add 1/2 of a teaspoon of either the Cal Toddy or the Osteo FX Plus, 1/2 of a teaspoon per 25 pounds of body weight per month or per day, 1/2 of a teaspoon per 25 pounds of body weight per day, starting with 1/2 of a teaspoon. All right, it's a good amount of minerals and a good amount of calcium and a very absorbable formula for infant formula if, you know, for whatever reason we can't breastfeed. And don't use Similac. You know why it's called Similac? Because there's nothing in it. It lacks everything. Similac lacks everything. It's nonsense. Anybody that prescribes Similac, any pediatrician that prescribes Similac does, in fact, not know what the heck they're doing. It is a ridiculous supplement. It's got nothing in it that's of any substance or any real value. Don't do it. Be your own doctor. Give the child, you know, a homemade formula made from goat's milk, goat's milk, goat's milk. Put some blackstrap molasses in there, put the plant minerals, put the Osteo FX Plus. We're going to support and promote the structure and function of the baby's growing body, and that is never a bad idea. Also, you know, give the parents the Healthy Start Pack, because if they've got a gluten intolerance, and they do, their bodies are extremely malnourished, and they don't know what they're missing. Last weekend was in Miami, folks. Welcome back. Dr. Peter Glidden here. Last weekend was in Miami, talking to, I don't know, almost, I think it was 200 people, 220 people, I think, showed up and hung out for 4 hours on a Saturday afternoon. We had a great time. We're going to go back to Miami now, or Florida now. Maybe it's not Miami, somewhere in Florida, talking to James, who's calling with a question about an aneurysm. Hey, James, thanks for the call. You are live.
Well, actually, I'm in Colorado, but that's okay.
Colorado? I don't know how that one got away from us. Holy smokes, my boys at the board are asleep. Wake up, boys.
Just a few miles
all right.
away. Yeah.
How's Colorado, James?
Well, better today. It warmed up at least above freezing.
Yeah, it's been a weird winter, hasn't it? How's your snowfall been there this year?
Well below normal, but we're just happy we got some. We've been running a little bit of a drought here, so.
What part of Colorado?
Colorado Springs.
Oh, yeah, very nice, Colorado Springs. Had a great time in Colorado Springs. I was there a couple of years ago giving a lecture for Victoria Barron's group. Are you already involved in longevity or not yet?
I actually ordered the Tangy Tangerine, but that's the only one so far. So. Yeah,
okay, great. Well, there's a really active longevity group in Colorado Springs.
Oh, there is?
Yeah, there is. They've got weekly meetings. They've got all kinds of things going on. If I were you, I would call up Longevity. Just call up Longevity Customer Service. I'll give you that number. It's 800-982-3189. That's 800-982-3189. And ask them for the phone number for Victoria Barron. And see if you can't interface with her group up there. But in any event, how can I help?
Well, it's not sure how much time you have. I I've been diagnosed recently with a thoracic aneurysm.
Ouch.
And they have me on. I also heart irregularity. I'm on home oxygen too. Apparently, there's a pressure problem between the left and the right side. One's pumping harder than the other.
Yeah.
And so it causes a fluid buildup.
Yeah.
So they have me on the diuretics also. So.
Okay.
And
what else?
Oh, and then a heart medicine that's called spirolactone.
Yeah. Okay. Why did they give you that?
I guess they're worried about heart disease and blood pressure.
So there's a million different types of heart disease. Like there's a million different types of dogs, right? I mean, are they worried about enlarged heart? Are they worried about high blood pressure, or didn't they really tell you?
They didn't really. The information I go to the Veterans Hospital, and the information I get there isn't really thorough. So.
Yeah, right. Well, Dr. Wallach, who's a colonel in the United States Air Force, says there's two places that you can give your life for your country: on the battlefield and at the VA, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So listen,
unfortunately, I had a stroke about 10 years ago, and it left me blind. So I'm on disability. There's not a lot I can do.
Holy moly macaroni. Okay. Well, look. Here's what I want to tell you. One of Dr. Wallach's lawsuits against the Food and Drug Administration allows us to say that supplementing your diet with fish oil, with essential fatty acids, virtually eliminates the risk of stroke, because there are mountains of scientific evidence to support the claim that in order for your blood to clot the way that nature intended it to, for it not to clot inappropriately, which is what causes a stroke, all that's necessary is your blood has to have enough essential fatty acids. And if your blood has enough essential fatty acids, the risk of stroke is virtually zero. So anybody that's had a stroke historically needs to be supplementing their diet with essential fatty acids. It's mandatory. You have to be taking some type of fish oil or EFAs. You don't have to do fish if you're a vegetarian. You can get it from flax oil, from borage oil, from plant oils. But the easiest way is fish oil, and the easier way still is the Healthy Start Pack that Longevity offers, because the Healthy Start Pack gives you the essential fatty acids, the 2 essential fatty acids that your body needs. It also gives you the other 88 essential nutrients that your body needs to maintain its health. It's kind of a 3-for-1 here, or a 90-for-1 is a better way to look at it. The problem with the ventricles and the heart in the backup of fluid, from our point of view, most of the time that is a simple vitamin B like baby 1, B1 deficiency. Vitamin B1 is also known as thiamine. So anybody that has that particular problem, in order to support and promote the structure and function of the heart, I recommend a good B complex supplement that's high in thiamine. And Longevity has just the supplement for that. It's called D-Stress. D like David, stress, like detoxify, D-Stress. The recommendation, 1 bottle of D-Stress per 100 pounds of body weight per month. Now, the very first thing that you talked about was the aortic aneurysm, and let me tell the listening audience what that is. You've got 2 types of blood vessels in your body, folks. You've got arteries, which carry blood away from your heart, and you have veins, which carry blood back to the heart. Now, the blood pressure in the arteries is extremely high. And because of that, nature has made the artery wall like a tree ring or like an onion. The wall of the artery, which has inside of it blood that's under high pressure, has a number of different layers of reinforcement to it. And when one of those layers starts to separate from another layer, or all of the layers start to separate, the pressure of the blood inside the artery can make the artery wall balloon. So you get a little bubble on the artery wall. Yeah, the same thing will happen to a garden hose. If you have got an old garden hose that's been kicking around the house for 15 years, and you hook it up to the water and you turn the water on, and the water goes through the hose, and then the hose gets a little bubble in it. You ever seen that happen to old garden hoses? It's the same thing in the body. It's called an aneurysm. And aneurysms can happen anywhere. They can happen in the brain, can happen in any artery in the body. James from Colorado has an aneurysm in one of the large arteries coming off of the heart. It's right in the middle of his chest. So don't feel bad, James, because, the smartest man in the world, Albert Einstein, had the same condition, and he didn't even know how to support and promote the health of his arteries so that this didn't happen. So for goodness sake, if Einstein didn't know how to fix this, don't feel bad that you don't. If Einstein didn't know how to support and promote the structure and function of his arteries, don't feel bad that you don't. But thank God for Dr. Wallach, because he does. So Dr. Wallach's research shows that one of the leading causes, mitigating factors, that drives the walls of the artery to separate is a lack of a molecule called elastin, like elastic. And guess what elastin does? Well, it keeps tissue of your body elastic and flexible. And so when the artery runs out of elastin, it loses its flexibility, and the walls of the artery start to separate. And that's the root cause of an aortic aneurysm, or any type of an aneurysm in a blood vessel. And guess what causes the body to run out of elastin? Is it genetic? No. Is it a voodoo curse? No. Is it the barometric pressure change? No. Is it the fact that you're a registered Republican? No. The only thing that makes this stuff happen is your body has run out of the mineral copper. Your body needs copper in order to produce elastin and a number of other things. If your body doesn't have copper, it's not going to produce elastin. If it doesn't produce elastin, it's only a matter of time until you get an aneurysm somewhere in your body. So, to support and promote the structure and function of your cardiovascular system, the recommendation is more copper. And how do we do that? Well, we do that with a supplement called selenium. Ultimate Selenium has all of the copper in it that your body needs, and it's balanced in relationship to selenium. And this is an important point to ponder, because when it comes to nutritional supplements, if you don't give a holistic recipe, if you just give fractionated nutrition, like lots of copper, lots of vitamin C, lots of calcium, whatever, you're going to upset the apple cart. Because your body there are 90 essential nutrients that it needs, and they all need to be in the right proportions and amounts. And your body will sort all that out if it has all 90, but if you just give it boatloads of copper, for instance, you're going to upset the apple cart, and that's not good. So, again, thank God for Wallach, because his selenium supplement is balanced perfectly with copper. So to support and promote the structure and function of the cardiovascular system, the recommendation is 1 bottle of Ultimate Selenium. Ultimate Selenium is the name of the product, per 50 pounds of body weight per month, not to exceed more than 4 bottles of Ultimate Selenium a month. So in my perfect world, James from Colorado Springs, I would do per month 1 Healthy Start Pack per 100 pounds of body weight, 1 bottle of selenium per 50 pounds of body weight, 1 bottle of de-stress if you're over 200 pounds, take 2 bottles of de-stress. If you're under 200 pounds, do 1 bottle of de-stress a month. And that should do it. Now, in addition to the nutritional supplements, you, me, and everybody else has to eliminate the 10 bad foods. So you have to stop eating wheat, barley, rye, and oats. No more wheat, no more barley, no more rye, no more oats, no more oil in a bottle, no more fried food, no more well-done red meat, no more meat that has nitrates added as preservatives, and no carbonated beverages with a meal. Oops, I forgot one. The skins of baked potatoes, yams, and sweet potatoes. Eliminate all that crap. Take the nutritional supplements requisite to support and promote the structure and function of your body, and see how far back your body bounces. This is an important thing for you to do. And the essential fatty acids are included in the Healthy Start Pack, so you don't need to get extra EFAs even though you have a history of stroke. So check that out, James. Give it a try and see how you fare, because what we do here is give your body the nuts and bolts, the nails, so to speak, that it needs to build its house, to keep its house together, the raw materials that the human body needs in order to maintain its integrity. And 99 times out of 100, the body does just that. It maintains its integrity. Why? Because it can. The fundamental difference between our methodology, our philosophy, and the MD philosophy is that the MDs believe that once you're sick, you're screwed. Your body does not have the ability to fix itself, and that your only option is to jump in and manage symptoms with man-made synthetic drugs until things get so bad that you need heart replacement surgery, you need a pig valve, you need an iron lung, you need a fake knee, you need some type of dramatic, heroic surgical procedure, right? This is all that they do. They drug it until it's so bad that they have to cut it or burn it. They drug it until it's so bad that they have to cut it or burn it. We have a better approach. Our approach is give the body the stuff it needs to fix itself. Stop eating food that's hurting the body. Get out of the way and let the body fix itself. I mean, it's that simple. And most of the time, when you dial this in appropriately, well, guess what? The body rallies and fixes itself because it can. The body has intelligence. There are trillions of metabolic processes that are happening right now, all of which are beyond your conscious control. What is it that makes all of that stuff happen? It is your inborn, innate intelligence. And that's what we feed with medical nutrition. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Peter Glidden talking about thyroid when we come back. Stick around. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow night's webinar, 8 o'clock Central Time, is all about thyroid health, which is really pretty important. Now, your thyroid is part of your endocrine system, which is a fancy-schmancy doctor term for the organs in your body which secrete hormones, right? It's in your throat. Your thyroid gland is located in your throat underneath your Adam's apple. And back in the day, when there was not iodine in the soil, there's still not enough iodine in the soil. So one thing that the Food and Drug Administration did do correctly, this was really before the advent of pharmaceutical power, is they lobbied companies to put iodine in their salt, and so now there was plenty of iodine available to people in their food, and this was important because when you don't have enough iodine, the thyroid starts to grow large and swell, and you get something called a goiter. And I don't know if you've ever seen anybody with a goiter, but goiters can be big. I mean, they can be the size of, ranging from the size of a golf ball to a basketball in your throat. And it's a very unsightly thing when it gets really, really, really big. And it's caused by nutrient deficiencies. So, rather than do 200,000 goiter surgeries a year, the medical system in the United States, the Food and Drug Administration, decided to get smart, and they just put iodine in the food. And guess what? Goiter went away. So if iodine can prevent goiter, why can't other nutrients prevent other diseases? Well, they can, but again, the drug companies don't want you to know this stuff. And they have outregulated us on every turn. But let's get back to the thyroid. The thyroid, being part of the endocrine system, regulates a lot of different things in your body. And if your thyroid is not happy, if your thyroid is underfunctioning for whatever reason, it can also overfunction. But that's a peculiar, more rare condition. Most of the time, when people have trouble with the thyroid, it's because the thyroid is underfunctioning. Now, if you have an underfunctioning thyroid, you can be fatigued, you can have cold hands and feet, heart palpitations, just can't get enough sleep. No matter how many hours you sleep, you're always tired. You can have a sense of inner trembling. You can look at food and gain weight. Your pulse can start to race even if you're just hanging out, resting, watching TV, lying in bed, reading a book. You can have infrequent or difficult bowel movements. You can be depressed, have insomnia, lack of motivation, night sweats, morning headaches, mental sluggishness, hair that falls out, hair that's thinning, or dryness of skin. Now, I know everybody in the listening audience has at least one of these symptoms, right? Everybody does. The most common symptom that everybody goes to the doctor with is, geez, doc, I don't have enough energy. Well, guess what? It could be a thyroid problem. Could be. But your medical doctor is going to address the thyroid issue by throwing a drug at it. and that is a juvenile intervention for a thyroid problem. The tests that your medical doctor is also going to do are outdated and old-fashioned and completely inaccurate in being able to assess thyroid function. It's just the wrong test. It's an old-fashioned test. It's called TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. That test is irrelevant and juvenile, and there are only very small circumstances under which that test actually provides valid clinical data. But your medical doctor is intellectually backward and intellectually cowardly. They're not going to review the new information. They're not going to, check out the new stuff that's coming down the pike. They're just going to hold fast to their old, outdated, ridiculous methodology, and you're going to suffer because of it. Now, tomorrow night, we're going to cut through all of this stuff with the Zen sword. I'm going to tell you exactly which lab tests you can get to support and promote, to be able to tell you how healthy your thyroid is. I'm going to tell you exactly which tests to get, what the reference ranges are. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do to support and promote the structure and function of your thyroid gland. We already know that you can make a dramatic impact just by adding iodine. I mean, that was dialed in the early 1900s in this country. Well, guess what? There are 3 other nutrients that your thyroid needs, your thyroid wants, your thyroid craves. And when you give your body those nutrients, the thyroid loves you. The thyroid starts to function optimally. You don't know what you don't know. If you know or you think you have a thyroid problem, come to tomorrow night's webinar. You're going to love it. Remember, if you're a Longevity member, it's live chat tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central Time. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in one more time. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, your friendly neighborhood naturopath. I'll see you next time.